Hey everybody, Clint Weckwerth, Palfinger. We're inside one of our Palpro Mechanics trucks. We're going to talk about a few things to think about when you're pulling up to a job site, things to look for, things to consider when you're setting up to do a job. The first thing I'll offer is, working as close to whatever piece of equipment or whatever you're trying to fix is going to benefit you, both in terms of knowing that your crane is going to be able to pick components up, it's going to be much more stable, and you won't have to spend as much time running the boom all the way out or all the way back to move components. It's not an absolute necessity, as long as you know that your work site is clear, everything around where the crane is going to be moving is clear from obstructions. You can set up, but we recommend trying to get as close as you can to whatever piece of equipment you're working on. Of course, absolutely, you're going to have to put the vehicle in park. Our control system, pretty much set up industry standard-wise, it's required to set the parking brake in order to activate the PTO, or hydraulics and electrical, for the actual crane and outriggers. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is reach down, set the parking brake. I'm in park, everything's good. And then different layouts and different cabs. This Ford happens to have the auxiliary switch panel up in the overhead here. So I'm just going to reach up and I'm going to go ahead and turn on my master power switch. Takes a second, and all of a sudden what we're going to hear, the PTO's engaged. So now we know we got hydraulics, we're set up. Of course, when we set up, we tried to look for the most level piece of ground. We want to stay within that 5-degree overall setup as far as tilt and stuff. So the better level ground you can find when you initially set up, the less you're going to have to worry about trying to level with the outriggers when you finally get outside. And with that, we're ready to jump out and go set up the back end of this truck to get to work. So from here, I'm going to make sure that I grab my remote control. Our latest control system actually has a charging and docking station that fits really nicely right between the driver and passenger seat. So rather than forget it now, I'm going to go ahead and grab that, and then we're going to go to the back of the truck so we can set up our outriggers and stabilizers. We're not even going to worry about touching the crane or trying to move the crane until we know that our truck is fully stable and within the recommended or required amount of level, if you will. So I'm just going to go ahead, set my controller there for a second. I'm going to open up crane compartment, and then I'm going to do a couple of things. First, I'm going to go ahead and extend my outrigger as far as I can. Of course, in this environment, we have plenty of room to work. You're not always going to be able to get fully deployed, but that will do a significant, it'll reduce your overall vehicle stability a lot. So if you're going to do any picking off the side of the truck, we recommend having everything fully deployed and fully down and supported. So we'll go ahead and bring our outrigger out until we hear end of stroke. And now I can start to run my stabilizer cylinders down. So we'll bring this one down. We'll run the other side down. And again, what I'm looking for is inside the crane compartment, there's a small bubble level, and that bubble level is showing me, as long as that bubble is somewhere within the boundary lines, I know that I'm within the limits required to safely operate this piece of equipment. From there, you're ready to go to work. So I'll go ahead and leave this open. I'm going to show you a few things on our latest controller. First thing I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to deactivate the emergency stop. We put the emergency stop on the bottom so that even if by accident or in a real emergency you need to hit that e-stop, you can, as simple as bumping it against your leg, that'll stop all functions, help you keep everything in the right way. And then on this, I was talking about it a bit earlier, but the way that we're going to turn this controller on is we have a little power button that happens to be aimed at this button. I'm just going to hold it for a few seconds. That's going to power up, very hard to see in the sun, but it's going to power up my remote control, which is automatically already paired to my receiver. So now I can safely know that I can get to work and I can unstow my crane and start doing what I need to do. Another thing that is pretty common with remote controllers in our industry, but I'm gonna have to use both hands in order to get this load hook off. Magnets built into the surround or the base of the controller allows me to stick it to any steel object, at which point I can now take my load block off and down and get to work. That's all there is to it. Again, step one, try to find the most level piece of ground you can, something good with footings as far as where your stabilizer legs are going to end up. Set your parking brake, turn on your PTO, come back. Don't even worry about the remote control or the crane until you've set up the outriggers, stabilizers, clear work zone, safe, good to go. That's it.